Scott. And in this week's Give Me 5, I want to just go ahead with the help of our dissected fetal pigs to go ahead and quickly touch on the idea of bagging and bellies. Now, why this is such a huge deal in little babies and little kids is really twofold. The first of which is, remember when little kids get really angry and they start crying to the point that not only they're crying, but they're also swallowing air instead. Remember, that's a big deal because now you hit the point that your belly literally fills with air. It pushes on the diaphragm, which, remember, goes ahead and it keeps the top half up top and the bottom half on the bottom. And you could have a kid who was doing really pretty well who now is in a fair amount of respiratory distress just because they've got a belly full of air post-crying. However, the more common, bigger issue is if the kid is really sick and we bag mask. Because when you bag and mask before the tube or the other toy goes into the airway, remember, air goes to two places, right? The good spot and the bad spot. Good spot trachea, bad spot esophagus. And the more you bag, the more they barf. And not only the more you bag, the more they barf, but the bigger your belly becomes, the harder it becomes for them to breathe. So what we're actually showing here on our fetal pig is, you can see we've got lungs up here, and down here we've got various intestinal organs. But more importantly is, when you look at the belly, this, as you can tell, is a nice, soft, flat belly. And as such, when we go ahead and try to breathe for this little piggy, you can see with relatively little difficulty that we're able to go ahead and make the lungs go up and down, because happily the chest is up here. Now the difference is if we have the point of getting a distended belly. And as we have a distended belly, you can see here, whereas it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point that literally it's going to seemingly pop. This is an issue because we still have our little lungs up here. But now when you look right here, this, you remember, is your diaphragm. Again, top versus bottom. And when you've got a belly that was nice and flat, but now is just huge, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room for these very squishable lungs to be able to breathe through. So the moral of the story, whether it's from crying and swallowing air, or more commonly when you've got somebody who, before the tubes go in, that you bag, mask, ventilate. Remember that air goes in and out and blood goes round and round. But if you've got a belly that's like seriously huge and way up here, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room for air to go in and out. So long before you do icky things because the kid's in distress, because they've got a big old belly full of air, just simply take just a moment, pop an NG or an OG, same tube, different hole, down and into the stomach. And if you decompress the belly, that leaves happily a whole lot more room for air to now go in and out.
Scenarios in Seconds was designed to be a simple and effective way to regularly train for pediatric emergencies. A Navy SEAL said it best: under pressure, we don't rise to the occasion, we sink to the level of our training. Ultimately, your next PEDS patient could be your worst PEDS patient, and we don't want you to just get ready, we want you to stay ready. And Scenarios in Seconds was designed to help you do just that.